Welcome, adventurers! What's going on, guys? My name is Cody. This is Taking 20, a channel about all things role-playing games, and we're back with our 30-day Dungeons & Dragons challenge. So today is day 15, which is the halfway point, so, yay! I just want to say thank you guys for taking this journey with me so far. Hopefully you are enjoying the series so far. You know, it's been fun. It's been a lot of work, but I've had a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, reading y'all stories has been just wonderful. So thank you guys for going on this journey with me so far. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into today's question.
Today's question is, what is your favorite undead monster? Let's talk about it.
Undead monsters. Man, that is a far-reaching category. There are a lot of different types of undead, and man, I think a lot of them are great to use in your campaign. They're very versatile. They may be one of the most versatile monster types outside of like humanoids and goblinoids for any campaign. You could drop undead and crank their challenges up or down for practically any game. Okay, so let's see. We have vampires, classic. Everybody loves vampires. We have liches, which are, I think, probably what most people would say when they think of undead and Dungeons and Dragons. They think of of liches. We even have the Dracolich. I mean, I think that's a great concept to think that a dragon who is also fearful of its own mortality, even though it lives so much longer than a human would. That's a really cool concept I like. Of course, you have, ghouls, ghasts, wraiths, shadows, but I think my favorite type, if I had to pick just one, I'm gonna do something a little different here. I think that my favorite undead type probably has to be the Banshee. I know, right? That's kind of an unusual one, and to be very candid with you, it's probably not one that I've used very often in a game, but I just love the whole concept of a Banshee. In Dungeons and Dragons, they have, they're kind of from these elves that were beautiful but didn't use their beauty the right way or something like that. They're very vain, if I remember correctly, and it is kind of like twisted and tormented them so that they actually get uncomfortable around people until they eventually pass and become these Banshees. Now, I think that's kind of strange, because when I think of Banshee off the top of my head, I don't always think elves. Honestly, I probably think like one of the first, like probably the first episode of the entire show, Supernatural, is what that's like what I think of when I think of a Banshee. But it's a great concept for an evil being. It's a being that has a lovely appearance or kind of has a shifting appearance that could be attractive, but they are some of the most evil and deadly creations in all of Dungeons and Dragons. Terrifyingly powerful. They are not your everyday undead. I mean, they're not as powerful as liches, but man, they can absolutely destroy characters if they are not careful when they come across a Banshee. I will admit, the one thing that when I think of Banshees and Dungeons and Dragons that I think is a little weird is the way that Agatha was portrayed in the Forgotten Realms. And I don't want to give away a lot of spoilers, but in essence, she is dangerous, but she is not purely evil. And I don't really agree with that. I think Banshees should be one of those just over-the-top evil beings. Almost like an elvish ghost version of a hag, where they're powerful, they've got magics available to them, and they might tempt players, especially if you have a group that hasn't encountered one before, that might be leery of a ghost, but may not have an idea that just how powerful and deadly a ghost could be, especially if you're a dungeon master throwing it at your players. That could be a quick way to a TPK, and I wouldn't mind that, actually. That would be a fun TPK to kind of teach players to teach players that some things must be ran from. You're not gonna just survive everything. So I really, really, really love the Banshee. Honorable mention is the Ghost. I definitely think that Ghosts are great as well. The reason I like Ghosts is because they can kind of be this trapped being, as well as an over-the-top evil, angry spirit that, you know, is trying to kill people. Just like with Ruins, I think Ghosts can be great storytellers as well for dungeon masters that want to add a little bit of lore to a locale or to a dungeon. One thing, if you haven't seen the first season of Provokers, I think either the first or second episode, probably the second episode of it, I'm betting it's number 2, that Matt Click from the Provoker series with Juice and Nate and Tim and Barker and those guys, he had this awesome ghost in his campaign, just kind of in the middle of this adventure. And it was this side quest, this side story. And if you haven't seen that, man, I highly recommend it. Matt Click, in those first few episodes of the Provoker series, and the rest of those guys are really, really on point. Very, very entertaining. His channel is A Fistful of Dice. And I tell you what, just because of this video, I'll go ahead and slap a link down to his channel. I don't know exactly where the ghost video is, to be very candid with you, but I'm betting it's episode 2 or so of the Provokers. But you should go check that out. So there you have it. My favorite undead monster for Dungeons and Dragons is the Banshee. Okay, guys, so what is your favorite type of undead monster in Dungeons and Dragons? Do you guys like ghouls? Do you guys like liches? Do you like specters? What do you got for me? Let's talk a little bit about undead, and tell me why you like that one, or maybe why you think that particular one is better than, say, I think a lich, because I think probably a lich is, I'm betting, is probably the baseline. A lot of people really, really like that monster for sure. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll be putting out new videos every week on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. And if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit that subscribe button down below and come join us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time.